Hello and welcome. I'm Namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. This is Express News, the show where we bring you up to speed with the day's top 100 developments in the nation and the world. Let's roll it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his five-nation visit. The PM highlighted issues faced by Global South and also firmed up multiple pacts on areas of immense importance. The last leg of the PM's five-nation visit was Namibia. One of the major highlights was that he was conferred with Namibia's highest civilian award, the Order of the Most Ancient Viscea Mirabilis. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar presided over as chief guest at the inauguration of the first annual academic conference on Indian knowledge systems at the Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi on Thursday. While addressing the conference, VP Dhankar stressed that India must not merely import global narratives, adding that the country's rise as a global power should go hand in hand with the growth of its intellectual and cultural influence. The VP also addressed the 19th edition of the CII ITC Sustainability Awards at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi on Thursday. India's Home Minister Amit Shah chaired the 27th meeting of the Eastern Zonal Council in Ranchi, Jharkhand on Thursday. India Energy Storage Week, a premier international conference and exhibition, was held in New Delhi. This year's edition promises robust global participation alongside strong support from India's state partners. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal virtually addressed the India Energy Storage Week. He highlighted that India must lead in the research and development efforts in the field of energy storage. The second edition of Confederation of Indian Industries Conference on Export Logistics was held in New Delhi on Thursday. The theme for this year's conference is Innovating for a Sustainable and Efficient Future in Export Logistics. Speaking at the conference, Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Shantanu Thakur said that strengthening India's last-mile connectivity is key to reducing logistics costs and making it easier to do business. India's think tank Niti Aayog on Thursday released a report on roadmap for strengthening State Science and Technology Council. The report said that these councils must explore wider funding opportunities available with different departments of the central government. National Fish Farmers Day 2025 is being marked on Thursday. Over years, fisheries sector has witnessed remarkable advancements with constant effort of the Modi government in transforming the fisheries sector in a holistic way through the Blue Revolution in the country. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan on Thursday inaugurated this two-day Vice Chancellors Conference in Kevadia, Gujarat. Organized by India's Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Central University of Gujarat, the event saw the participation of more than 50 Vice Chancellors of leading higher education institutions. India's Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Sindhya inaugurated the BTU VRIF Telecom Centre of Excellence in Bengaluru. Addressing the event, the minister said that in the next decade, we'll be able to say that the Silicon Valley is a version of Bengaluru. A leading digital news diary claimed that the centre had commissioned a nationwide study to assess the pattern of sudden deaths in India has been dubbed as fake by the Press Information Bureau. The first of two diving support vessels named Nistar has been delivered to the Indian Navy and is set to join the Eastern Fleet soon. This vessel is indigenously designed and constructed by Hindustan Shipyard Limited in Visakhapatnam. As part of the ongoing humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations in Himachal Pradesh, the Indian Army continues to extend critical support to civil administration in Mandi district. SDRF and NDRF teams are working in close coordination with the local authorities. Medical assistance and distribution of relief materials has been provided by the team deployed in the area. The Indian Army has launched extensive humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations under Operation Jal Rahat 2 across northeast India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings to everyone on the special occasion of Guru Purnima. At close, Indian equity indices ended on a negative note on Thursday with Nifty 50 around 25,350, Nifty declined 121 points to close at 25,355. The Sensex was down 346 points to close at 83,190. The Indian rupee also ended marginally higher at 85.64 per dollar on Thursday. Gold prices in India remained broadly unchanged on Thursday. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of August was priced at 96,765 Indian rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 5th of September maturity stood at 108,377 Indian rupees per kg on the MCX. Global crude oil prices were steady on Thursday as investors weighed the potential impact of US President Trump and his tariffs on global economic growth, while a weaker dollar and signs of strong US gasoline demand underpinned prices. Linda Yaccarino resigned on Wednesday as CEO of X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, after 2 years at the helm of the Elon Musk-owned company. Cryptocurrency Bitcoin surged to a fresh all-time high of nearly $112,000 early Thursday, driven by a mix of growing risk appetite, sustained institutional inflows, and macroeconomic optimism. The London Stock Exchange reached a record high on Thursday, driven by optimism that governments will negotiate deals to mitigate the impact of Donald Trump's expanded tariffs. The FTSE 100 index rose 1% to a record high, following a surge in mining stocks. German inflation slowed down by 2% in June, according to the Federal Statistics Office on Thursday. This marks a decrease from May's 2.1% year-over-year rise in consumer prices, harmonized to compare with other EU countries. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at the two-day conference in Rome. She said that Russia should face tougher sanctions to increase pressure on it to halt the conflict in Ukraine. The European Commission has announced $2.7 billion in support of Ukraine. The conference has pledged over $11.7 billion for the economic recovery of Ukraine. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has welcomed the launch of a European Union fund aimed at mobilizing private investment for the reconstruction of Ukraine at the conference in Rome. And Ukraine's President Zelensky met with his Italian counterpart Sergio Mattarella in the Italian capital for what he called a good and important conversation, reaffirming the friendship between the two nations. But the Kremlin said on Thursday that Russia did not think peace talks on Ukraine have stalled. Rather, it was waiting for a signal from Kyiv on whether or not it would join a third round of talks, which first kicked off in May in Istanbul. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer met French President Emmanuel Macron at 10 Downing Street for a summit focused on deepening defence and nuclear cooperation. Macron said that the EU needs to be involved in finding solutions to illegal migration. Starmer said, and I quote, that we all agree the situation in the Channel cannot go on as it is, end quote. The UK Prime Minister is working to address high levels of immigration along with the French President. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen survived a no-confidence vote in the European Parliament on Thursday. The motion failed to get two-thirds majority it needed to pass. India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Pavitra Margarita, co-chaired a productive ASEAN-India Foreign Ministers meeting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with Secretary of Foreign Affairs of the Philippines, Teresa P. Lazaro. On the sidelines of the ASEAN Post-Ministerial Conference, Minister of State Pavitra Margarita met with Minister for Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, Sugiono, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Both exchanged views on issues of mutual interest. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio signed a bilateral MOU on civil nuclear cooperation with his Malaysian counterpart on Thursday. Speaking during the signing ceremony in Kuala Lumpur, Rubio said that the MOU is an example of how it can be done at a time when several countries have expressed their interest in civil nuclear programs. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met China's Wang Yi on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit in Kuala Lumpur. The two sides praised the development of political dialogue and practical cooperation amid increased turbulence in global relations. US President Donald Trump on Wednesday shot off a round of tariff letters to 7 countries, including Algeria, Iraq, Libya, Sri Lanka and the Philippines. These letters are set to take effect on the 1st of August, barring any trade deals reached before then. Trump has announced a staggering tariff of 50% on all imports from Brazil, following a public spat with his Brazilian counterpart Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva this week. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev held a meeting in the United Arab Emirates on Thursday to work to finalize a peace agreement after nearly 4 decades of conflict. South Korea's former President Yoon Suk-yeol has been re-arrested over last year's failed martial law bid that plunged the country into political turmoil, citing fears he could destroy evidence. On the second day of Taiwan's annual military exercises, Taiwan's army displayed US tanks. The 10-day drills are designed to test the island's resilience and saw participation by President Lai Ching. A Liberian-flagged cargo ship attacked by Yemen's Houthi rebels sank on Wednesday in the Red Sea. 3 more crew members were rescued on Thursday, taking the total survivors to 10. 11 people are still missing. We're taking a quick break at this point and we'll be back with more in Express News in just a bit. Stay with DD India. Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's get on with the rest of the show. Now, the devastating floods sweeping through central Texas have claimed at least 119 lives, with over 160 people still unaccounted for. Workers in central Texas continue to comb through piles of muddy debris as Governor Greg Abbott ordered flags to be lowered to half-mast over the tragedy. US President Donald Trump will visit Texas on Friday to assess the damage and meet with officials. 3 people have been killed after flash floods in the US state of New Mexico, just days after a devastating deluge claimed more than 100 lives in neighboring Texas. The Washington, D.C. region was hit by strong thunderstorms on Wednesday, causing flash flood warnings, tornado alerts and several airport delays. One of the world's most active volcanoes, Kilaueu, that's erupted and spewed columns of lava into Hawaii's skies. The eruption is currently confined within the volcano summit area, posing no immediate threat to nearby communities. Thick smoke rose over Oropos in Greece on Wednesday as wildfires spread through the region, reaching the town of Aspohori. Firefighters quickly formed a barrier to stop further damage. A powerful 5.2 earthquake rattled southern Guatemala on Tuesday, triggering over 30 aftershocks and leaving 5 people dead. Heavy rainfall has caused widespread flooding in several Chinese provinces. In Shaanxi, gushing brown torrents swept away cars, while in Sichuan, flash floods submerged houses in an ancient town, forcing 446 residents to evacuate. An earthquake measuring 4.4 on the Richter scale struck Jhajjar district in the northern Indian state of Haryana on Thursday morning. The tremors were strongly felt across the capital Delhi and the surrounding NCR. Delhi and parts of the National Capital Region has been experiencing heavy rainfall. In Gurugram, intermittent overnight rainfall led to waterlogging in multiple areas and traffic disruptions. Hundreds of visitors flocked to the Conservatory of Flowers in San Francisco to witness the rare bloom of Chanel, a Titan arum corpse flower. This unusual plant, native to Sumatra, Indonesia, is known for its strong, pungent aroma which attracts pollinators during its short blooming period. Photos of the first Barbie doll with type 1 diabetes released by Mattel in a bid to foster a greater sense of inclusion and empathy among children. The new doll features a visible continuous glucose monitor on her arm and an insulin pump, reflecting real tools used by many living with the autoimmune disease. Lebanese designer Elie Saar presented his new Fall 2025 collection at the Paris Haute Couture Week, featuring opulent princess dresses worthy of the most beautiful fairy tales, with numerous strapless gowns with long trains made of silk chiffon or satin and adorned with pearls. The collection exuded regal elegance, with each look evoking fantasy and romance, solidifying Saar's place as one of couture's most celebrated storytellers. Giorgio Armani's Privé Haute Couture collection was showcased at the label's Paris headquarters, featuring luxurious black velvet evening wear and shimmering accents. The collection featured classic Armani styles including tailcoats, tulle gowns and sharp-shouldered suit jackets. Dutch designers Victor and Rolf showcased their new Haute Couture collection at Paris Haute Couture Week, featuring 15 pairs of eccentric black dresses with a 19th century twist. The collection features pleats, layers of fabric and colorful feathered headpieces created by English milliner Stephen Jones. The designer's use of fake feather adds a touch of humor and whimsy to the otherwise austere dresses. Syrian designer Rami Al Ali is set to make his Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week debut with his collection Guardian of Light. The Emmy-nominated Apple TV series Prehistoric Planet has been transformed into a 360-degree immersive experience at London's Lightroom Arts Centre. The exhibit Prehistoric Planet Discovering Dinosaurs combines original footage with new CGI sequences, allowing visitors to interact with life-size dinosaurs from the Cretaceous era. Mongolia's annual Naadam festival kicked off on Thursday with a horse racing competition dedicated to the 234th century, the anniversary of the founding of the state of Mongolia. As part of the annual National Naadam Festival, 19th edition of the Dilti Mongol Festival was also held in Mongolia, celebrating traditional Mongolian attire and culture. The fantastic cast of the Fantastic Four First Steps, starring Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn and Ebon Moss-Baccarat, attended a Berlin fan event on Tuesday. Actor Chris Pratt is all set to voice Garfield once again in a sequel to 2024's The Garfield Movie, which made more than $230 million at the global box office. The trailer of the second season of Wednesday 2 has been unveiled. Tim Burton's hit series Wednesday is returning with the second season on the 6th of August this year. The teaser trailer of season 4 of the popular Apple TV Plus series The Morning Show has been unveiled, with the release being around 17th of September in 2025. Celebrities gathered for the Balenciaga Haute Couture show in Paris, marking designer Demna's final collection for the house before moving to Gucci. The iconic duo of Imran Hashmi and Himesh Reshammiya are making a comeback. The two are teaming up once again for an action-packed film titled Gunmaster G9, set to release in 2026. Actor Tiger Shroff has announced the social media platform Instagram that the shoot for Baghi 4 has been wrapped up. Marking centenary celebrations of legendary filmmaker Guru Dutt, a special retrospective of his iconic films will be held across India in August. Guru Dutt's classics including Pyasa, Chaudhary Ka Chand, Mr. and Mrs. 55 and Bars will be rerun in theatres from the 8th to the 10th of August. The Indian Film Festival of Melbourne is set to pay tribute to the legendary filmmaker Guru Dutt during its 2025 edition, marking the centenary year of the cinema icon. President Draupadi Murmu will attend a special screening of Anupam Kher's directorial Tanvi the Great at the Rashtrapati Bhavan Cultural Centre ahead of the film's official release. The second session of the third test match in sports in India and England is underway at Lord's. Nitish Kumar Reddy provided India with the first of the breakthroughs. Reddy dismissed both the English openers in the first session. The Indian women's cricket team sealed a historic series triumph over England by winning the fourth T20 by 6 wickets at Old Trafford. The result gave India an unassailable 3-1 lead in the series, with the final game to be played at Edgbaston on Saturday. A mural of former Liverpool striker Diogo Jota has been unveiled at Anfield days after his tragic death. Paris Saint-Germain is set to face Chelsea in the FIFA Club World Cup final on Sunday. Champions League's winners PSG thrashed Real Madrid 4-0 to enter the finals of the tournament as well. Serbian tennis icon Novak Djokovic has advanced to the semi-finals of Wimbledon this time. Djokovic's next challenger is world number 1 Jannik Sinner, who defeated Ben Shelton in the quarter-finals. And in the second men's semi-finals, Carlos Alcaraz will face off with Taylor Fritz on Friday. Hockey India named a 33-member core probable group for the senior men's national coaching camp, which will take place in Bengaluru from the 14th of July. Oman is set to host the combined ICC Men's T20 World Cup Asia and East Asia Pacific qualifier in October later this year. The India A men's hockey team continued its impressive run in the ongoing Euro Tour, securing a convincing 6-0 win over Ireland. And India's Animesh Couture will be in action at the Morocco Diamond League on Friday as he faces off against Australia's teen spirit sensation Good. And Lionel Messi propelled Inter Miami to a 2-1 victory over hosts New England in Major League Soccer in the US. And that's a wrap as far as this edition of Express News is concerned, but all the latest will continue right here on DD India. Do keep watching.